Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing well on this, at least here where I'm at, warm, but not too warm, Monday morning. Haven't done a video in a couple of weeks, but I've been busy doing stuff, hobby-wise, so don't worry. I've gotten stuff only built in those 2 weeks. Been working on my Bretonians. I finished a friend of mine's ogres, as I said I would in the last video, that I was going to finish those up, and I'm pretty sure I finished up those the same day I posted the video. And then I started working on dwarves for another friend of mine for the old world. So I felt like that was going to come off. I felt like that was going to come loose. Working on dwarves for him, because he doesn't have the time to put them together, and he's had them for a little while. So I offered to put them together for him, not for free, but for what I think is a very reasonable price to assemble them. Cool models. They don't go together great. I mean, these sprues are from, I want to say 2005. Let me see, I've got one right here. Yeah, 2005. So they're 21 years old. They're old enough to drink here in the U.S. These are some Quarrelers Command, and a Quarreler that I've put together. I've also put together a unit of 16 hand weapon and shield guys. Took me a second to think what it was I had put together, but put those together, and two lords. And what he's got is the battalion, or the battle box, whatever it's called, starter box for the dwarves for the old world. So that's what I'm putting together. But that's not going to be the main point of this video. That's just what I've been working on. Haven't gotten anything painted as far as finished. I'm going to try to fix that over the next couple of days for the end of the month, as this will be the last video for March. Try to get a couple of things painted just so I can have something on my list that I keep up with what I've painted throughout the year. So get those out of the way. The big thing for this video, and it may be a long one as I go over everything, I went to AdeptiCon. Never been. This is actually my first convention of any kind that I recall ever having gone to. And it was absolutely amazing. Now, I didn't go all 4 days. I went Wednesday evening to YouTube meet and greet. Met Dom from Boots on the Table. I'll link his channel in the description below. And Ken, I forget Ken's channel, and their friend James, which I don't know if James has a YouTube channel or not, but Ken and Dom are on the Plastic Crack podcast with Martin and Steve from Seventh Son, and On Point HQ, excuse me, I couldn't think of Steve's channel there for a second, respectively. That's their channels. And they stream almost every Monday. I think it's 8 to 10 UK time. So here in the US right now, it's 3 to 5 with the time change, PM. Really good stuff. If you've never checked it out, you should definitely check it out. Just search Plastic Crack Podcast. And it'll pull up on their different channels where they've streamed them in the past. So definitely check that out. But that was on Wednesday. I met Dom, talked with him for a few minutes, and then just went around and looked at different things. Was able to buy a playmat. I'm not going to show it. I don't have the room to show it. And I forget who it's from. I forgot to grab the card or look at the card before I started filming. Let me go look real quick. Pause in the video without me actually pausing. it's Gray Matter Gaming, a play mat. I got a 4x3 for the Barons War, as what we're playing on is a 6x4 that we just mark off. But I've really wanted a 4x3 to have here at my house, so I could play solo games if I wanted to. I can take to buddies' houses that don't have play mats and show them the game and have a mat and everything to play on. So it's really nice. It's a grassy play mat with some trees and stuff on it. So you could use those instead of actual trees if you wanted to for like a 2D terrain effect, which I think is pretty neat. And then Wednesday, like, they didn't have a ton. A lot of people were in line to get their badges and their swag bags and just the different stuff they had signed up for. I got my mug and my t-shirt, which is pretty cool. I'm very happy with both of them. Should have grabbed the mug to show you guys. But yeah, so Wednesday is just kind of a starter day. There's not a lot going on. There's games and stuff going on. They have gaming areas and stuff like that, and a couple of stalls outside of the exhibitor hall, which is where I got that play mat, and some other stuff that I'm going to show you here in a second, is outside the exhibitor hall on that third floor, at the Baird Center. So it was pretty cool, kind of get a lay of the land, where everything's going to be, figure stuff out, stuff like that. So went back Thursday. Thursday was a very busy day. That's when the exhibitor hall opened and you could go in and shop. They had all kinds of tournament gaming of all kinds of different systems going, which was really cool to see just that many people playing games, rolling dice, having fun. It was very inspiring. But where I stopped at first was another one of these outside of the exhibitor hall places that I don't remember if it was set up on Wednesday. If it was, I didn't notice it, but I don't think it was Elric's Hobbies. And there you can see elricshobbies.com. Really cool setup. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. I got some 3D printed gargoyles. I don't know how well these are going to show up with the glare. Let me take some out of the pack, out of the bag here. But yeah, they're 3D printed gargoyles. I'm going to use them for terrain. I just don't know how. Or could use them as objective markers for different kinds of games, stuff like that. But they seem to be pretty good 3D prints from what I can tell of them in the bag. This is my first time actually touching them. I think, if I recall correctly, they're on these little pedestals, slabs already. But yeah, they're just really cool looking, and I saw them and I was like, I've got to get me a pack of these to use for something. I may use them to decorate for a graveyard or a mausoleum or something like that. So those are really cool. But that was all I got from there. Really neat. They had a bunch of different other stuff, different bits for like 40K. It was mainly different bits for 40K. For different vehicles and base sizes and different stuff like that. That was really neat. Or bases that had designs and stuff on them was really neat. The next place I stopped, also outside of the exhibitor hall, because the exhibitor hall didn't open till 10. I got there at 8. It opened at 10, and the line to get into there before it opened at like 9:50. Went through the hall and then up several flights of stairs is the way they had the line going, and I was not about to wait in that line. I waited about 10 minutes and then went in without there being a line. So it was fantastic. But next, I'll show a sticker. Michigan Toy Soldier Company, mishtoy.com. Had a cool booth with a bunch of different stuff in it, mainly hobby supplies. So I got some AK Terrain's Muddy Ground for price tags on there. I don't care. But as my local store doesn't have any of this, it has some AK products, but not this one specifically. And I wanted to try it. Probably going to use it for my Bretonians. Put them on a muddy, desolated battlefield kind of thing, which I know I've done mud for my Game of Thrones models, but it's like a burnt mud, ashy mud, you know, to represent dragonfire and stuff like that. So this I'm going to try. I've never used it. I'm very excited for it. And then I got some tufts, just some neat tufts to use with my Bretonians from Gamer's Grass. And this one is, I don't know what company this is from, but these two or three, I have three here. Yeah, these three are from Gamer's Grass. 36 extra large dry green tufts, then some dry green small ones, 144 of them, and then some light green, 70 of those to use. I'm going to mix in together. I think that makes a pretty stark contrast, not stark, but like a good contrast with each other, and I think they'll look really good mixed in together. So yeah, got those, and then these I will mix in just they're mud green, so they'll look good, hopefully, with the mud. Hopefully they don't blend in too much. And I also got one of these glue holders with their logo on it and their logo inside of it. It didn't show up too well there with the 3D print, but to set your Tamiya, or Tamiya, however you pronounce it, extra thin cement in, and that way it keeps it from tipping over. I haven't had a problem with it tipping over yet, but I assume it could happen. And plus, I think it just looks cool just to have it set in, and it just, I don't know, it just looks neat. And that was the big deal for me, was getting stuff that looks neat. While I was waiting for that stall to open, because they weren't quite ready until about 9 o'clock, I actually went to the Games Workshop booth in aisles, because they had a big old setup of different products that you could select from Old World, 40K, Heresy. All of their different games, I think, were represented at their stall. I don't see why they wouldn't be, but I don't play all their games, so I didn't look at everything, so I can't technically confirm that. But I picked up some stuff for my Bretonians. I picked up a Prophetesses of the Lady, one on foot, one on horse. Some cool metal models with a plastic horse. So I picked those up. I don't necessarily need them right now. To do anything or like to use. I mean, I'm still putting my stuff together, much less have it painted and ready to play, because that's how I would like to play, is to have it painted. So I just got these because they were available, and I'm gonna want magic eventually, so got those. Next, I got the Grill Reliquois. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's the one where the battle pilgrims, or the pilgrims, are carrying around the Grail, the dead Grail Knight, and have it like he's in a horse, or on his horse and stuff still. Yeah, they're carrying around the body of this guy and everything, and they're armed with different stuff from his armor and weapons and stuff like that, and different stuff they've gathered over time. Like this guy's carrying the horse's skull up like it's a horse, and so you set him up to where he's in the front. There's a couple carrying this guy, and then I think there might be a guy at the back. I can't exactly remember. I've got to look at the model, but beautiful model. Deets at Anvil of Doom Miniatures. I had to think for a second. I'll link his channel below in the description. Recently painted this up the past few months. I'm going to have to look at his to really see how it goes together, you know, the video, see how it goes together and everything, and how it best fits, which I think this guy sits like here. Of course, I got to get the pieces broke off that need to be broke off. Like, there's a lot of exhaust vents and stuff that's got to come off, which they're coming off pretty easy, but got to go through each piece. Yeah, and take them off. But again, really cool models. I think they look fantastic. It's GW metals. I haven't put together a lot of GW metals that I can recall. Maybe one or two solid metal models, but I've painted a decent-ish amount of metal models. So I'm excited for that. I'm not going to tear all these off of each one, but just seeing it while I'm talking. Yeah, I'm excited about it. They're full of character and everything like that. Like this guy's got a broken sword. And looks like maybe some kind of a parchment going up the side of his head. But I also can't tell what's going on with his face, so I've got to look at pictures and stuff of other people's models that they painted and look on GW's website. But, gosh, a lot of exhaust vents on these guys. I didn't notice that when I bought it. This is my first time really taking these out and looking at them. I didn't do that too much at AdeptiCon. I didn't do it at all at AdeptiCon, and then afterwards I've just looked at them in the packaging. So yeah, but still, it's going to be fun to work with. Nice heavy models. Again, I don't know how they're going to play into a list or anything. I just think this is a really cool, like, they're really cool models, and I wanted them for my army, and I bought them. Up next was another booth, obviously, but I got to meet and talk with, like, I have an actual conversation with Duncan Rhodes of Two Thin Coats fame, and the Duncan Rhodes painting channel, I believe, is the name of his channel. I'll link it in the description below. And got some of his paints. He was running a sale of 12 for $50, so that comes out to like $4.25 or $4.20 a piece. And I got a bunch of different greens, and some grays, and some skin colors, and orange. I don't really have any orange to use in my paint. I don't know how much of this is showing up in shot. And then I also earlier bought a Pro Acryl Yellow to use for my Bretonians for the Museum theme that I'm going with. But yeah, bunch of different green, several different greens, some different skin. Just try something a little different. Yellow and like I said, orange. So really excited about that. They packaged their stuff up in a box, which was a little weird, I thought, but I guess if it leaks in the box and doesn't get in a bag and all that kinds of stuff. So that's the only reason I could come up with about how they packaged it in a box. Maybe it was just cheaper or easier to get boxes. I don't know. But yeah, got those paints. And then next, I stopped by a little stall, and I wanted to look more, but it kept getting busier and busier, and it was a very small stall. People just kept piling in and everything and not waiting in line like I was doing. Guess that's just the southerner in me. But yeah, they just so I didn't get to look at exactly everything I wanted to, but it was Sherwood War Games. I heard this guy talking to another gentleman. He's originally from the UK, but he's been living in the US for about, I think he said 17 or 18 years now. And had a bunch of different sealed product, like early editions of Warhammer Fantasy. I believe I heard somebody say there was a Rogue Trader starter box thing, whatever, like the bundle you could buy that was still sealed in the package. I wasn't looking at any of that. Most of that stuff was out of my price. All of that stuff really was out of my price range. Had some cool Bretonians from what I could look at. I didn't get to look at it as much as I wanted to. but old Bretonian models, medals. So, yeah, if you want to take a look at it, Sherwood War Games. What I got from there is some alligator hunters, 3D printed. These guys look really cool. I can't tell exactly what scale they are. Believe they're 28. They're more on the historic side. But they're really cool looking. To use for like Dead Man's Hand and games like that. But saw them on a shelf, pick stand. But they're alligator hunters. Like this guy's got alligator boots. No shirt, but he's got alligator skin boots. And his double barrel shotgun going on. Let me see. Let me grab a 28mm Warlord Games model and see and compare. Warlord Games 28mm American Revolution, which this guy's kind of bent. He's not standing straight up like this guy. He's kind of bent and moving forward, but that's pretty close. So I don't think they're like 25mm. I'm pretty sure they're 28. I'll have to look online because they're Tina's Tiny Troops. I don't know if that's the 3D printer that sculpted these or what, and this guy just sells them. I'm not exactly sure, but another dude with alligator boots. This time reloading his double barrel shotgun. Got an alligator holster there. Oh, big dude with holding out a stick of dynamite as the wind's blowing his hair. Oh, this big old guy with a double barrel shotgun. Apparently those are pretty popular with these guys. Looks like maybe a mold slippage or something. Can't exactly. I'm not super familiar with 3D printing as far as like what could cause this, but maybe some green stuff. Kind of fill that in and flatten it out. But yeah, these are really cool. These are this dude's got an alligator vest, no shirt on underneath, super ripped, with his big Bowie knife that's in an alligator sheath pouch thing, and is ready to swing on somebody with his bracers on. So that's awesome. But yeah, there's 7 models here to use. This guy looks like he just woke up out of bed. Oh, he has a claw hand. He has a claw hand. That's awesome. And a double barrel shotgun. So double barrel is the way to go with these guys, for these guys apparently. Here's this guy with a rope with a hook on it, getting ready to wrangle. Oh no, a lady. It looks like got some cleaning up to do on the back. Looks like maybe it didn't do too well. I guess that could be perfectly normal. I'm not sure, but yeah, excited about those guys. Like I said, it's Sherwood War Games, Tina's Tiny Troops. That's not the only thing I got from them. It's alligator hunters there. Up next is some vampire hunters. I don't know what it is about vampire hunters. I just freaking love them. And I've been wanting to get my hands on some just to have, like not even to use for anything. But I guess, again, these could be used for like Dracula's America or role-playing, just like the alligator hunters could be used for role-playing. Silver bayonet. I know they've got revolvers, but you can make it work. Just say it's a pistol. But this guy got his garlic and cross. And looks like maybe possibly a staff further in there. But yeah, these guys look to be about the same 28mm size dudes and dudettes. Here's this guy with his crucifix. They're all in, not all of them, but most of them's in dusters, so that's pretty cool. This guy's holster's got some like cool design on it. It's got his stakes around him on the outside of his duster so he can get to him easy. They're going to take some cleanup, but that's fine. That's not that big of a deal. Here's this guy driving a stake into, you'd assume, a vampire with his garlic around him. And this dude with a sword. It's kind of bent, but nothing some hot and cold water won't fix up, pretty sure. But yeah, really, really cool. And his duster's got some designs at the bottom. Makes me wonder if this guy's the head guy in charge. This guy's making a cross with his guns. Like, his 2 crosses and garlic wasn't enough, so he's making it with his 2 pistols. He's got a cross in his hat and some stakes on his duster and a mallet. That's awesome. And then this guy's got a shovel, stakes and crucifixes, and a rifle to dig up, lever action rifle, to dig up the undead and drive a stake through their heart. And this guy with a double barrel shotgun, awesome, is ready. Oh, he's got a patch, is ready to burn whatever they need to burn. So these are freaking awesome. I can't wait to paint up both sets of these. I got so much stuff that will be in the works eventually. But these are the Vampire Hunters from Tina's Tiny Toys at Sherwood Games. So, really, Sherwood War Games, excuse me. Really cool stuff. Highly recommend. Up next was the one booth I was looking for, wanting to go to regardless of any other booth to check out, and that was the Badger Games booth. For those of you that don't know, Badger Games is a independent retailer here in the U.S., and I guess they could ship internationally, for all kinds of miniature games. Here's some of their cool stickers. So, with their mascot, Badger. Incredible site. I've ordered from them before. Really good prices. It's based here in the U.S., so I don't have to pay international shipping, and they've got stuff from all kinds of creators. I would recommend checking them out if you're in the U.S. Even if you're international and having trouble maybe finding something, possibly take a look at them and see what you can find on there. But Badger Games, pretty sure it's badgergames.com. Cool pin and some cool stickers. From them, I got, first off, some Otherworld miniatures. Let's see, they are hobgoblins with pole arms. Pretty sure these are supposed to be hobgoblins. Almost certain. Because I bought some at a store also. But, yeah, from Otherworld. Incredible looking models. They've got these cool pole arms with bases. And they've got their bases in there, which is neat. I didn't realize that when I bought them. Metal models. Great detail. I don't know how much of that's going to show up with the glare, but they're in scale and plate armor, and not a ton of detail. Like, there's not a ton of extra stuff like how there is on those Vampire Hunters. These guys are pretty simple, but they're beautiful looking, and I can't wait to paint them up. I also bought a ton of Baron's War stuff. So I got King Philip II, or Philip II, Augustus, King of France. I needed his mounted version, as I already have this dismounted version that I've painted up. I don't know if I've showed it on the channel before, but I have painted up as a Baron, to use as a Baron in the Baron's War. But yeah, I needed the mounted version, as I did not have it, and they had it available. So I was like, hey, I'm definitely getting that. So I did. Next, I got the, if I can talk, Holy Relic, Priest, and Pilgrim Guard. Some tape on there. I didn't know footsword manufactured in the U.S. But, sorry, got distracted. That was the next one. Sergeants with torches, just because I think they look cool and they'll be fun to paint. You can't see him, he's hiding in there, but the Bishop of Winchester. He's the battle bishop, I guess you could say, with the mace. Then I got the Bishop of York. I was thinking these were the same models. Obviously, one's Winchester and one's York. But in my head, when I grabbed it, I was like, oh, that's the same model, just a mounted version. It's not, but that does not matter to me. Still going to paint it up. Probably going to use both of them for my Teutonic Knights. Probably. I'm not exactly sure on that. To represent a dismounted and mounted priest model. Next, I got some Mamluk cavalry to go with what Islamic forces I have. And for whenever they come out with the Outremer 2nd edition setup, I'll have some. These are really cool looking. I've got some mounted Islamic cavalry already. But these guys look really cool. And they're metal models. I really like metal models. They've grown on me over the years. And I just add some variety to what I've got already. Then next, I got the Poacher. Just an individual character model. Another individual character model, Outlawed Noble. As the Outlaws are in the new King John supplement for the Barons War 2nd edition. I don't know if it's a list I'm ever going to want to play, but I've got the models, or some of the models, not all the models, to be something to look at. And then Village Characters 3, just to add some detail to the tabletop. Show, you know, just some more livelihood to the tabletop whenever you're fighting your battles of the Barons War. And then the Gamekeeper, which is a really cool model. Looks really good. Probably want to get that in shot. I don't know if that was previously in shot, but another individual character model. I've really enjoyed painting up these individual character models. Plus, he's got an eye patch and a crossbow. How cool is that? But I've really enjoyed painting up the individual character models for the Barons of War. Paul Hicks sculpts amazingly. I don't know anyone who would say otherwise, but it's just so great painting up his models and trying to do them justice in some way. But that's what I got on Thursday at AdeptiCon. Walked around, looked at every booth in some form or fashion, or walked by every booth. Was really cool. If I would have thought about it, or maybe understood what AdeptiCon was a little bit more, I would have went more days. But I got everything and did everything I really wanted to do in the first 2 days, Wednesday evening and Thursday. We were there most of the day till a little bit after lunch. We being me and my wife. I dragged her along to go. So that was really neat, just really cool. And I want to go back. Was not crazy about the 17 and a half hour drive there, and then this same back. Was not fun. Do not recommend. But yeah, I want to go to AdeptiCon again. Probably not next year, maybe in a couple of years or so. It would be awesome to go back. The next day, as far as like hobby related stuff, we went to Old Guard Games, which Badger Games is partnered with. They're the same but separate, I think. Or Badger Games is based out of Old Guard Games. Not exactly sure on that, how that works. But went by there, got a cool Old Guard Games goodie bag for having went to AdeptiCon. Got this cool coin. Got a Regiment Games Space Goblin. That'll be fun to paint up. Neat magnet. This keychain of a Viking. Then this koozie can holder. And then the special logo figure sculpted by Paul Hicks, which is this guy here on the magnet, twirling his mustache. And I'm pretty sure it's the statue, wooden shrub, model, however you want to call it, that they have at their store. It's like the first thing you see when you walk in the door. Is this guy. I don't think it's... Could be this guy. No, it's this one. Because this one's Old Guard Games, sculpted by Paul Hicks. 2 Napoleonic figures. I'm assuming they're both Old Guard. I'm not really familiar with Napoleonics to know what the difference is or what they exactly are and everything like that. But I'm very excited to paint them up. Again, Paul Hicks figures. Absolutely amazing. Really excited for that. That's what came in this little goodie bag, which was neat. It was free. They didn't have to do that. But if you took your AdeptiCon badge by there to show you had went, they gave you that. So again, didn't have to do it, but really cool. But I bought some more Otherworld miniatures. These are armored guards. Again, pretty sure they're hobgoblins. It could be orcs. If they're orcs, even better. If they're hobgoblins, that's fine too. But these guys with their cool looking polearm axes. Yep, hobgoblin guards right there, if I could read. And then the hobgoblins polearms too, so these go along with the other guys I showed already. I don't know, for some reason I just wanted to have some more, and I think they look pretty cool. And then I bought a hobgoblin champion and shaman. What this allows me to do, if I use these guys with my orcs, or paint them up as orcs and just say they're orcs, they're hobgoblins, or close-ish, adjacent, I can use them for, and I forgot to show this, Warhost, the fantasy version of the Baron's War, or I can just use them in RPGs and stuff like that. Because I also bought at AdeptiCon Warhost. So it's a game by Andy Hobday. Like I said, it's the fantasy version of the Baron's War. To go along with that. So this kind of gives me a little bit of a starting force and characters and stuff to use for that. Also, while I was at AdeptiCon, I forgot to, because I had this off to the side, I bought some art by Charles Urbach. There's 2 different things in there. I got some stickers out of it. Bought some stickers as well. But that's all I bought at AdeptiCon. So back to what I got at Badger Games. I went and got some more Baron's War stuff and some Warhost stuff. Actually, I don't know if I may have only gotten 1 or 2 things of the Baron's War, but I got these Warhost Linebreaker orcs, Orc Big Boss and Linebreakers A, to go along with the Oathmark orcs that I have. I think these look similar-ish to the plastics from what I've seen and compared them in my mind with the Oathmark orcs that I have. Again, sculpted by Paul Hicks. Absolutely incredible models. But I got them to use for Warhost. Then I bought some Dead Man's Hand coyotes, goats. I know the sticker says a flock of sheep, but it's actually goats. For table dressing for different games. I also got, if I can find it, I didn't buy any Baron's War stuff at Old Guard Games, my bad. An actual flock of sheep. Again, just table dressing to go along, make your tables look better, look more alive, instead of just a static, here's an empty village that we stumbled across, has no strategic value because no one's here kind of thing. This you can put with your villagers and stuff like that to just show it's lived in and used and has value. Again, also RPGs would be great for that. And also for Dead Man's Hand, if I ever play that with those alligator hunters and vampire hunters that I have, I've got table dressing for that. Next, I got some stuff for the Silver Bayonet, another game that I want to play. I should have bought the book while I was there, but I didn't for whatever reason, because I just feel like maybe a new edition's coming along, but I could be completely wrong with that. Just a hunch in my head. Heard nothing, know nothing kind of thing. But got some vampires. I mainly got these just because I wanted some vampires to paint up. And these guys, this guy and Lady of the Undead are kind of in that early 19th century get up. So as the game takes place during the Napoleonic Wars, that's how they're dressed. Be really fun to paint. Next, I got a Neromante, I believe is how that's pronounced. Maybe? Il Neromante? I don't know. I don't speak Italian. I'm pretty sure this is from the Italian supplement. But it just looks like a cool Wraith. Is why I bought it. You can never have too many Wraith models, and it just looks really cool. And then for Frostgrave, I got small to medium constructs. I don't really play the Wizard School that uses constructs. I'm trying to remember what it is, but I can't think of it right off. But you can use these guys as monsters that pop up. Or if you learn that spell or have a chance to learn that spell, or if I want to switch up what school of magic I'm from, I've got the models to show it. So that's all I got at Old Guard Games. I got a lot of stuff at AdeptiCon and Old Guard. I had loads of fun. AdeptiCon was amazing. Milwaukee is an absolutely beautiful city. The Baird Center is great for AdeptiCon. They had a map layout that was pretty easy to go by. Also, they had an app that made it even easier to go by to figure out what was where, and I don't think it said when, but what was where, so you could figure out where you needed to go and on each floor. Fantastic. Like I said, Milwaukee's absolutely beautiful. It was cold up there compared to how it is down here in the South right now. So the weather was a little bit of a shock. Not a shock, but a change. And everything. And yeah, just had loads of fun. And can't wait, like I said, to go back. I hope to go back one day and many more AdeptiCons. No way I could do it every year, I don't think. Because it's just expensive and that's just a long ass drive. Excuse my language, but a long, long drive. We got back in yesterday and I wanted to get this video up as quick as I could just to show off the stuff I bought. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have any questions or anything, be sure to leave it down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. Love to see the channel grow. Be sure to like the video. It helps. All of that helps these videos get out to more people in our hobby, because they're going to suggest the videos based on what a person watches similar videos. So it just helps more of this stuff get out, and I would love for people to see it and such. But if you guys have any questions or anything, like I said, leave it down in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.